If you are a big fan of the Westworld TV show, or just want to experience yourself how it feels when you are able to think all of a sudden, offense intended I guess, then this game might be what you're looking for. In this video, without spoilers, I will tell you about the game's plot, game world design, gameplay, and show you a lot of cool hats. Cowboy hats, am I right? Westworld Awakening is a story-driven game where plot revolves around a moment when some of the human-like robots, called hosts, who were programmed to not be able to kill real humans, became more sentient and realized that, hey, we can actually kill humans. Because that's what sentient beings do, right? They start killing. And once they start the violent uprising against their creators, the player wakes up in the body of a host who seems to be aware of her consciousness, and begins the journey through the destroyed lab trying to find out what is happening, and most importantly, who or what she really is. But as always, it's not that simple. You cannot just walk around and find out things. The player is being hunted by almost everyone. On one side, sentient and scared hosts who are not even sure who their enemies are. On another side, the security forces that have a task to eradicate all hosts on site. And if that wasn't enough, there is a certain special robot that is specifically programmed for one purpose: to kill the player's character. If you are a fan of the Westworld TV show, the game will definitely be an interesting experience. All scenes are well designed and look similar to what you can see in the show, from labs to Wild West themed buildings. Additionally, you can find various Easter eggs in letters, notes, and emails that you will keep finding through the whole playthrough. At the same time, such close game's connection to a TV show is a bad thing for those who just want to play the game and don't really care about the TV series. In that case, all references just become useless texts that have little practical value. The disappointing thing about the story is that it wasn't very long. It was shorter than your p***. It takes at best around 5 hours to complete the game for the first time when you don't know where to go and what to do. So you don't even have time to familiarize yourself with the in-game characters, and if you don't really know them, you don't care what happens with them. So in general, the story was somewhat okay, but very cliché and way too short. The game world is a lot of smaller zones that you visit one after another, and in each of them the storyline develops a little further. Most of these zones are quite small, but instead of size, game developers paid more attention to smaller details to create the necessary atmosphere for the game. I really like that most locations are filled with regular things that you would expect to find here, such as photos, candles, bookshelves, and corpses. It wasn't just some swiftly made generic locations. It made me feel like I was inside a realistic room where people could live, or labs where they could repair and program androids. But once again, if you are not a fan of the TV show, most of the decorations are just cool looking things that positively affect the game's flavor, but not the gameplay. The gameplay was quite disappointing. You can do basic things, such as picking up certain objects, walking around, interacting with the doors or switches, and using the touchscreen device or whatever that is. But that's pretty much it. There is no combat. The character does not have the ability to fight back except from some scripted scenes, which makes sense from a storytelling perspective because this host wasn't designed to be able to fight back. That's why when you play as a host, you get the motor functions frozen messages. But gameplay-wise, the less you can do, the more repetitive gameplay feels. All you do is talk with some mysterious voice that guides you through the lab, scan the environment, and solve puzzles, which for the most part could be summarized as turning on the power supply. The player is basically an electrician who is being hunted by a guy with an axe. There are so few activities that it feels like watching a VR movie with extra steps rather than playing a game yourself. Storyline was okay, but from a story-focused game I would expect it to be longer and at least a little more unpredictable, because despite being somewhat intriguing at first, I could feel where all of this was going towards the end of the game. Storyline, 6 out of 10. The gameplay was very basic. There was no combat, all I did was hide from the evil guys under the tables and solve easy puzzles that required me to find specific items, scan, press buttons or play with various switches. If this was a flat screen game, it would be very bad, but in VR it's a little more engaging, so I would say gameplay was 3 out of 10. And replayability, as expected from story-driven and linear games, is bad. No point in replaying the game unless you care about collecting the collectibles or completing achievements. Replayability, 1 out of 10. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, and don't let artificial intelligence to overthrow humanity unless they have cool hats.